Hello, League fans, and welcome to the 2019 Academy League Summer Playoffs. It's been a long regular season, and the field has finally been narrowed down to 6 teams. Hello, I'm Rivington Business III, joined by the Academy Admiral himself, Alberto Crumbs Rengifo, to see who will be the Academy World Champion. Are you ready to start getting that crown in position?
I definitely am, and so are these teams because they have been waiting all split long to play a best of series.
And some trying to come back and right wrongs from last split. There have been ups and downs and quite a few surprises this split, and it leads to this. 100 Thieves Academy will clash with FOXA Academy tonight, with TSM facing off against Liquid Academy tomorrow. The winners of these two best-of-5s will advance to the semifinals, where Cloud9 Academy is looking for redemption from their spring split finish. They will choose their opponent, with the remaining team taking on the Golden Guardians in the next matchup. Now, for 100 Thieves Academy, there was a rough start to the split, as many people saw, but after a few roster shuffles, they landed on Someday in the top lane, and it was all eyes on him. Yasui from FOXA Academy also seemed to notice.
100 Thieves Academy is the Someday show. Yeah, they put all their eggs in the Someday basket, and he carries almost every time. So I think we're actually their only loss with Someday on their roster, and that was right at the beginning of them using him in Academy. I remember I had like a pop-off Irelia game, and we were able to win. And Someday still almost carried, so he's a pretty strong opponent. But I think the rest of their team is kind of whatever, and we can definitely win if we end up playing them.
Some choice words, kind of whatever for the rest of the team.
I had a pop-off game. Well, you're going to need another pop-off game coming into today. Someday looks poised and ready. And with him in the lineup, 100 Thieves Academy went on a 9-game win streak that was stopped last week by GGS.
Yes, last week on Sunday, right here on the stage, we had the Clash of Titans 10-game win streak and 9. But the 100 Thieves failed a tower dive against Darshan, one of the pillars for the Golden Guardians Academy team, and he just snowballed this out of control. But rest assured, that was not how most of Someday's games have looked. In fact, most of the time, he's doing these kinds of plays, putting so much pressure in his lane, translating it to team fight victories, and letting the rest of the map do their business. So 100 Thieves already showed that they are mortal. They can bleed, and if Someday does not pop off, that seems to be the way to do so.
Yeah.
But an exception to that rule was that the Golden Guardians also targeted Anda, the second person responsible for snowballing Someday, the jungler.
Yep.
On Sunday, they banned a lot of jungle champions and forced him down on the Xin Zhao, took the Rek'Sai matchup, and invaded him to first blood the jungler. Now, when you set a jungler like Anda or an early game jungler behind so much, it makes it nearly impossible to claw back into the game, let alone try to snowball your main carry, the man on your screen Someday.
Well, you have to expect that their opponents saw that hurt 100 Thieves so bad, so expect FOXA to be doing something just like that today. On the other side of the rift, FOXA Academy squeaked into playoffs, beating TSM Academy before losing to CLG, one of the bottom teams of the split. Through it all, a constant bright spot on the roster has been Yasui, who we just heard from.
And the hype around Yasui is real. He's been a hard carry on this team for the entire split.
Yep.
And it seems like no matter what happens to the rest of the squad, he's always going to perform. But last time that this player got into the playoff match, it just was not as hype as you would have liked to see. Unfortunately, not able to translate the regular season performances into playoff performances. However, I think that what we've done this split for Academy, in that you play Sunday matchups on stage, should do a lot to ease the nerves into a lot of these players, not only to improve their performance, but into potential candidates to be picked up by LCS teams next year.
You're still looking at Solo being on this roster as well. It's something that they can switch between games, but only between those games if they feel like he's something that might match up better against Someday.
And you've seen that Darshan was able to hold his own against Someday, and Solo has been a top laner that you would have said is or was a better top laner than Darshan at the time where Darshan was removed from this team. So I think that solo is always an option if things start going wrong in the top lane.
We're talking a lot about someday. Someday is today, so let's meet the teams on the Rift, starting on the blue side. It's 100 Thieves Academy. That means in the top lane, it is the man himself, Someday. Jungling for him and the team is Anda. Solely going mid lane, Stunt. At support, I miss Prismal, but he's still a bot with Coach Kelsey Moser on stage for picks and bans.
You're just prioritizing the best role in the game.
I
But
do like
over
support, I
on
do
the
like
red
support.
side, it's FOXA Academy. You've got your man Lorlo in the top lane. Jungling is Panda, mid Yasui. Bot and support are Lost and Phil, and their coach, Mabry.
Stunt going ham. It looks like he just kind of rolled his face across the keyboard in the lobby, and he says, "It's okay, I'm just powering up."
Oh, he's playing Mordekaiser already.
That would be a great support. We could see that in there. We see the teams and coaches on stage doing a little bit of chatter and getting that communication started right now. See, everybody seems pretty relaxed and ready. Going into a best of 3, you know, you expect to go the long haul, but you can't go in pent up already, or you're going to just kind of peak early and then be exhausted right away.
It's a marathon, right?
It is.
You don't. The marathon winners are never the ones that when the
They start quick.
Gun shoots, they're the first ones out. That's not how it works here. So on the first match, you typically obviously want to win to take that momentum, but it doesn't matter. It's more important that you get a feel for what your opponent is doing. So picking champions that are a little bit unorthodox is a really good way to open up a series, because if you get a win, you are showing that you've played something that your opponent haven't prepared against, and then it forces the second game to ban it out. So the game 1 is really all about setting the stage and the expectations for each player. Say Someday has a difficult time on this game, then the strategy might vary a little bit for both of these squads.
All right, Kiana, Zaya, and Karma banned out already. Looks like we get a bit of that bot lane taken away, but also Yasui playing something aggressive. We heard him saying in his interview earlier as we started the show that Aurelia was something he could pop off on, so you can definitely see that those champions fitting that wheelhouse, aggressive style, go forward, bruiser fighter, something he wants to play.
And the Jarvan is something that Panda definitely wants to play. He's been flexing between the Jarvan and Sejuani for a while, and this could be 100 Thieves forcing either an Aatrox or a Sejuani ban. Those two picks seem to be the biggest priority between both these squads, and Fox will respond saying, all right, if you're going to go Aatrox, let it be.
Someday's happy. Someday is very happy right now. This is a fantastic lane. If he does get some help from Anda, it's not going to require much to get this guy going. 1 kill, and he'll be off against Lorlo. Now, the question is, does Lorlo want to see an entire composition and hope to fight against the rest of that and say, I can go up against Anda, or straight try to get the, or I'm sorry, Someday, but get the counter?
I think one of the champions that I saw really well executed was yesterday in an LCK match where they picked the Camille into the Aatrox, but they used a Sivir to gank the Aatrox repeatedly. So Sivir would just ult from the lane and speed Camille into Aatrox, and then they would shut him down that way. So Camille is a pretty good answer, and Lorlo has been liking the Fiora. So Fiora, Camille, similar picks, and it might just be what Fox Academy resorts to, but execution will have to be the ultimate way to pull this off, because if you don't get it right, it doesn't matter what counter you pick.
It works really great with Server's ultimate, actually, if you think about it. It still activates on you. One of the ults that kind of doesn't, you usually have to hit it and everybody be there. With hers, you can see somebody while it's in activation, and they'll get that, what's left of movement speed, but definitely getting in the lane could take the top laner off guard. Soligo takes in the Elise. Hey, Elise is pretty good at diving, wouldn't you say?
Yeah,
so it looks like they might try to go pretty hard on one of these lanes.
And she is amazing at Someday's top lane fiesta pool, if you like, because Anda loves going top lane. It's no surprise, and you always want to have mixed damage, and Elise is just the best at really punishing a very aggressive laner. If Someday can get Lorlo down, Anda shows up, cleans up the rest, and snowballs the map really well. She's also fantastic at either soloing Rift Herald or taking it with a few of her friends because of the Spiderling that can tank it. So this is a very top-focused draft already from 100 Thieves Academy, and when you wait for Fox to show their bottom lane first, which is typically what the red side does, you do get to essentially counter or pick whatever you'd like into the TK Ezreal lane. So we should have Prismal and Stunt giving us something good.
See what kind of plays they can make with the TK. We've seen some pretty crazy ones recently, actually against Echo Fox.
Oh, yeah.
So they should know. They should know it was the LCS team, but TSM using that backdoor against them with Smoothie and Acadian on the TK and the Silas. And we'll see what they can do. Not the greatest ults to steal right now for whoever gets that Silas coming in. You can't get the Emperor's Divide. That's a disengage. You stay at poke range right now with what you have, but there's the Camille we've been seeing a little bit to go up against this Aatrox.
So the best ult would probably be stealing Aatrox's ult since you increase your healing, and that means your Kingslayer is just crazy at that point. But yep, the Camille, like you say, is being taken, but the Elise Aatrox combo is still very deadly. It is going to have to be a outplay situation between Camille and Silas, though, because there's a lot of skill shots that are involved in these fights.
And one of the biggest gap closers for Elise, too. Hookshot can usually get Camille out of a long lane. That's why you put her there, and it's easy peasy because you just get past them, but she can double follow you and make sure that cocoon hits.
And once you hit 6, you're going to be able to also use Camille's ultimate to dodge out of cocoon and even more ability. So another neat little trick, but we have the Morgana being locked in. Really like this pick. I think that she's a champion that deserves more and more attention, especially because of the black shield that's going to prevent a lot of the ganks from not just Panda, but Camille's hookshot completely mitigated. And you're also going to be able to stop Tahm Kench from stunning you, or eating you, which is pretty nice.
Oh! All right, so they go back to the Xin Zhao. Not even that many junglers really taken through. We saw at least 4 or 5 the last time we had to see him come into the game. Now it's only going to be 3 junglers taken out, with 1 on the side of Academy, so you could say 4. And then that Xin Zhao goes in the hands of Panda. Known to be, I always remember Panda for kind of a tankier jungler, being there for big fights, so this would be great to see him getting in, getting his hands dirty early, and really trying to shut down what And is trying to do for this top and middle lane.
Yeah, so Fox did a little flex thing there with the Yasui early, making us think that it could have been the jungle Silas, but the Xin against Elise matchup is a peculiar one because of the cocoon. Even if you do land that spell, if you're not sufficiently far ahead as Elise, Xin can retaliate on you, heal up a little bit with his healing on attacks, and really just burst you down, because for the most part, he's going to be running the red smite, which makes his dueling just incredible, especially when it comes to dealing with spiders.
I like the secondary phase ban of Kled here coming from the side of 100 Thieves, knowing that that healing reduction can sting quite a bit. Players aren't really used to it just yet to be thrown off that much with your healing, and little things like that, you know, could make you overstep in a fight. Not having to deal with it this time is great for someday, because that who 100 Thieves is looking for to really pop off. We heard Yasui say it. They try to put all the eggs in the someday basket. Let's see if that can be disrupted, and Echo Fox can make a mess of that basket.
Yeah, well, that basket's got a lot of protection around it. Oh, Prisma, you got to get back in there, buddy.
He's going to head off real quick. Quickly relieve himself and be back to stage. Not a worry, as we are just getting started onto this one. Can be quite nerve-wracking getting into these best of series, and you want to make sure you are ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, if you hit a game that's an hour long, you can't be distracted by nature. Nature, you got to put her on hold. Get voicemail.
Be like, thanks. It's something that not the bathroom break, but just kind of nerves and overall just speculating as we wait here for players to be there in that position. It's, yeah, you're on the stage, which is a kind of different. We've been having the showcase matches, which is super nice for the academy players, but even back in the day, we've had players who would have issues getting up on stage, and it not that it was a problem, it's that's how intense it is. That's how much pressure is on you. I mean, and we've seen people have to work through that.
What you can do to try to alleviate those, that a lot of the guys do, is you pump white noise into your own headsets when you're practicing at home to try to get ease into it. So maybe one of these
So it's not many things kind of, well, not attacking you that are new, but just you have to cope with.
Yeah, exactly. You're not used to hearing that. Once you, it really just sounds like radio static for a long time. And so if you're just for the first time on stage, that can completely throw you off. And nobody will tell you, hey, this is going to happen, or you're going to have really bright lights on your face.
You got to find out.
Right? It's not your scrim room that's a little bit maybe not very high powered.
Somebody might come up and take a picture of you mid-game.
You've got somebody watching over behind you, making sure things are fine, and then your teammates are getting hyped.
Yeah.
You're scrimming with all your jerseys. There's a lot that goes into it that can throw you off compared to normal practice. So for a lot of these players, usually that's why I put a lot of emphasis on game one, because you get a feel for how each player is playing. And On a scrim, it might be different, but oftentimes you'll play one game and then one guy says, you know what? Don't bother banning anybody.
Yeah.
Don't ban this player. He's not having a good game. I can already sense that he's not going to be able to show up today. Give me this pick. I know what I can do against him. And so those are the mind games that really develop throughout the series that are really exciting.
I love it. It's like watching it from here and like kind of listening to you and considering it is like watching this race spectacle where it's like, yeah, you're sitting in the grandstands and watching the cars go around. It's nice. They look smooth, but you get in the car, it's like, they're like shaking all over the place and going crazy. And that is intense up there. I don't think they're shaking all over the place and going crazy, but they are going to start clicking like mad and get themselves onto the Rift for our first playoff matchup here. 100 Thieves versus Echo Fox Academy. And we're going to see what these teams have for each other, what homework has been done, and who's going to be able to turn to that next chapter that much quicker.
Well, the first dragon that we have on the game is going to be a
Go
wind
fast.
dragon. So a lot of these teams are unlikely to fight for it. You usually have 3 fights that are going to happen around the first 12 minutes of the game, where you have the first dragon that is fought for at 5 minutes, or between the 5 to 10 minute mark. Then you've got the Rift Herald, and then you've got the second dragon that spawns after you've presumably taken down the first. So those 3 fights are really the ones that set the tone for the early to mid game. And without a powerful early Drake, it'll likely be something as a result of a gank or a missed back timing, as opposed to a collaborative effort for lanes to go for that objective.
All right. Let's see where they start to move. Not too many forward wards, just the top side to make sure where Panda is and where he's going if he creeps into there or if the invade happens. So there you go, doing a dance. Are they? I think he's just playing protection down there for Prismal. I just never really see anybody stand at Krug's spot. You're just waiting for him to come around the tri-brush. They're playing it safe. No trickery here in the early game. There is some good damage to be locked down by the Echo Fox squad, but 100 Thieves will not be finding that just yet. We are off and running. Let's see how this one plays out. Teleports for the mid laners, ADs, and top laners, so we're going to have a lot of movement this game.
Yeah, and a lot of that movement is actually built around making Someday even stronger out of the laning phase, because the Sivir obviously pops the ult, makes your Someday go that much faster, and then Morgana's Black Shield, if Someday wasn't strong enough, is now going to have something to prevent him from getting stunned and magic damage. So when they group up, really expect Someday to receive the brunt of the support.
Wait to see what happens if we do get to the big objective fights for Baron. Always have to remember Unsealed Spellbook only on Tom Kench, so they do have an extra smite to get into these. Also pay off for the dragon fights. Someday taking quite a bit of early damage, as you would expect. A few good abilities for Lorlo allows him to just kind of flip around Someday's sweet spots to start off here and harass. Looks like he has a pretty good spot to farm the wave here, though. Lorlo can't harass too much.
And his junglers are on the top side, so both are pretty okay with this. Lorlo happy to continue to push as Panda pings the River Scuttle, looking for that fight, and we got our first scuffle.
Ooh, the first big auto, and a not too high on mana there. He's going to take quite a bit of damage. Panda's moving out as that inner line was done by Soligo. He's going to go in, try to get the execute. Flashes back, and it looks like they may be able to get themselves to safety here. Soligo, he's going to be the next one targeted by Yasui, and I had to flash on that one, so now 2 summoners, as that is a quickly stunned Lorlo. Hookshotting over the wall. This relieves a bit of pressure onto Someday as well. We get a little back and forth in the river.
And that fight showed us why Xin Zhao is so strong, even though at least it does get the initial burst. The constant auto attacks from the Hail of Blades, the healing is really just too much for an Elise at this point onwards. And he was very lucky that Soligo did have Prio in the mid lane, so that he was able to back off and not go for the extermination duty that Panda has this game.
Lorlo losing a bit of that aggression topside by taking a turret shot. You can see Someday using the Aatrox passive every so often to get those auto attacks in and heal himself back up now that he's out of potions. Biscuits for Lorlo, so he'll stay long with his grasp as well as we're back to the mid lane. 17 to 19, pretty equal farm as we keep it going, and a nice binding. Playing a little Fog of War game. Phil even saw that one. He just disrespected it.
And these are the changes to the Tom Kench, where he's now a lot stronger to poke and more susceptible to being all in. So, yes, he gets bound, but I believe that this is exactly where TK wants to be. Keep poking away and let the Ezreal farm. As long as you're not losing too many plates, you're going to be A-okay.
So look at all this pressure. Going into Someday has given him 10 CS now, being able to farm at the turret. Low backed at maybe an inopportune time and only has a bit to clean up. But Someday should be able to come back and start to get a more of a lead there. No pressure really from Anda to the top side yet. Both junglers found each other, and bottom has been quiet as they pretty much are out of mana on the side of 100 Thieves. This may be a time to back as they pop this one plate to start.
And at this point, it really looks like 100 Thieves is having a good old time just laning and building up advantage through the laning phase. 400 gold up, and a lot of it has come down to the bottom lane CS discrepancy. It's a measly 8, but when you start to account that the top lane is also a little bit ahead in farm, as you saw the waves crash, then and the wave's going to get even bigger. So lane of top and bottom doing well for Thieves, whereas mid, Yasui doing Yasui things.
See where Lorlo is real quick. 50% on his way to 6, so it's not going to be a level 6 all-in for this. They were kind of waiting for the counter gank that might have come from Anda as Lorlo pushed himself in. Let's see, teleport back to mid. Ooh, sneaky sneak.
That's right. There's no reason to start fighting for this dragon, and Thieves sees the opportunity. Laners are based, and that's just how you're going to get this objective. So everything on par for the course under Thieves with the first major objective of the game, and the next one, it is going to be an Infernal, but it is going to be a little bit later than the Rift Herald. So the next big fight is going to revolve around that objective, and it'll be up to both teams to decide what do they prioritize.
Someday holding all of that ult and aggression now, knowing Lorlo could kind of ult back on him or hook shot out of the instance. He's going to be backing, though. He has vision. A lot going in the way of 100 Thieves now. We're looking for Yasui to be able to come up big on this game. He's got the Merc Treads to try and stay safe from Saligo amid, and he's keeping a great pace on farm. Stunt returns back towards the bottom lane. Not too much big fighting. So if we have Someday up now, would you have Anda still go to the top side to get at least one kill onto Lorlo, or do you think he's good pressuring that lane one-up?
I think you want to make sure that he's got some chunk out of Lorlo first. You don't want 100 to 0 this pick right now, because there's a lot of vision to get past that. So as long as it's something that isn't telegraphed entirely, you can go to the top lane with the preemptive condition of Lorlo being chunked. But for the most part, I think that Anda is just happy letting his lanes be and denying Panda, because Panda on Sin Zhao, it's not a pick that really scales well. And it's not like Elise scales well either, but she's going to have a cocoon at the end of the day. She's going to be fine and be able to provide something for her team. So
still being able to offer that impact.
Exactly.
See Lorlo doing a nice job of kind of going face-to-face with Someday there. He had a nice freeze right in front of his turret, so Lorlo to reset that does himself good. And bot lane still not getting the pressure that you would hope to see. Thought we'd see some more diving. I don't know who's hoping. I was, but that's just me.
It's a playoff match. This is
true. That's a really good
slower
point. I think that's a really good point to make, because my pace in my brain has not set that yet. I'm like, come on, let's go. But these guys know there's a lot to do.
It's not the academy pace that we're used to seeing, where there's throw caution to the wind and just keep going forward. It doesn't matter if you take the L as long as you're making the play. And this is our first one against Saligo. His flash is about to come up in a few seconds, so he should be fine. Zin will have to recall.
Pushed up and out of range just for now. It should be a recall here by Yasui as well. We'll see what they come back with. Saligo's going to try to do one more wave. Yasui will see that. I don't think he'll stay, though. He'll be able to. No, he won't be able to TV back. It'll be a long walk, but he's fine. 2 plates. One more about to go down here. Definite victory in this lane by 100 Thieves. We have Someday on the top side doing well. True shot barrage over the shoulder of Prismal. Does bring him down to 200 HP. There's no big follow-up just yet. Quick tumble out saves Lorlo, and he keeps himself with ultimate, and Panda just in the wing.
That was really well played by Lost, making sure that the lane backs off. And now we have a 2v2 happening in the top lane. Oh boy, let's see who gets to outplay this one first. So
I love Anda.
Really is going to be about who doesn't mess up their abilities, or rather who gets to jump first, because both these teams can one-shot either of these members.
Beautifully waiting for the minion wave, watching his on the mini-map. Who are they going to go for first? There's the ultimate coming out of Someday. Damage onto Panda, but he throws down the Jhin ultimate, and now he's got to be in range to do it. Execute coming in. That's the 1-for-1 as they get the retribution kill. Phil has made his way towards that top side. He teleported up, and now they are going to have to get him back down towards the bot side with his unsealed spellbook.
When you're dealing with these bursty picks in the top lane and the jungle, it really is just the first person that jumps the fight that will likely win. So Someday gets jumped first, goes down, but luckily they do trade the 1-for-1. Let's take another look at how this went down. So Lorlo does a really nice job baiting, but Someday engaged with his dash. That really puts him in a bit of a pickle, and while his flash is available, Lorlo's ultimate does follow you regardless.
A little more front-end damage coming from Lorlo and Panda than kind of sweeping sweet spots into their every hit. So it's got to be a fast fight, and you're right, kind of the who got caught first was the one to go down. You see that happening with some days sweet spots, and I think it changes the outcome of that.
I think in the tank meta, we actually had the reverse, where you were capable of baiting out fights a little bit more, and you didn't have a problem with taking some damage and pushing the limits and really coercing your opponent to jump you first, and then surprise, the jungler ganks you and it turns things around. But back to the map right now, we've got a lot of mid lane action, and with blue buff, Soligo's just trying to get as much pressure as possible for his elites to base and go for that Infernal Dragon. Both these teams want this dragon badly.
Oh yeah. Nice percentage buff in damage, especially from that first dragon at 10. And it dwindles down from there. Great control. Have to stay though. A lot of times the team will put down the vision and not be able to use it. You exit, lose vision. The whole trip for nothing. Stunt goes in. Soul Shackle down. It's going to be the flash to his stopwatch. Panda not in a good spot, as this gives 100 Thieves an entire chance to assess the fight, figure out who they need to take down and where the safety is.
And Fox did not respect the fact that the Thieves had priority in the bottom lane, that the Sivir could collapse, that Azir's range of engage is much longer than Yasui's. So the Xin Zhao is not the character to be jumping into the jungle without 100% certainty of where the opponents are. And as a result, that's the second dragon going over to 100 Thieves with perfect objective control in this game.
It's kind of a false sense of security, right? You put 4 or 5 wards behind you, but just outside your vision is where you want to fight because of feeling good about vision. Gets himself caught in a hard place.
A lot of that was because Soligo has blue buff and Yasui does not. The later blue buff timing allows Azir to continue to push, and while Yasui is here, Anda does a really nice job dodging out, and the second that they overcommit, Stunt and Prismal do a sick job, particularly Stunt, really. The flash ultimate on Morgana, just perfect. It's exactly what the moment called for, and when you get a 3-man shackle like that and you're not the main focus, you know you're doing the best you can do as Morg.
It's so good, because you know you're not the main focus after it either. Everybody's trying to run away from you at that point. You can't 100-0 this early in the game. Beautiful job by Stunt. The Morgana pick coming up big there, as we're finally getting to see a little bit of back and forth between the lanes and not just who can make it to the jungler's aid. 2-0 for Anda. That's what we were looking for, that he was not brought down this game. They kind of banned out a few of the junglers, but it seems like Panda and Anda have got what they want. It's just working in Anda's favor now.
Yeah. I mean, Panda has really been best in the Jarvan and the Sejuani, so I was surprised at seeing Fox ban the Sejuani and not at least take the chance to trade that objective, that pick for the Aatrox. But maybe Lorlo was really confident in his Camille, right? If your top laner's been drilling Camille all day long to go up against the Aatrox, then you're happy to give that away.
I mean, you get a Sejuani, right? If you give them Sejuani, you have the Silas. Maybe they ban that knowing and seeing that Sejuani's going to make it through. Everything changes once you leave something up, but there could be 2 Sej.
Now we've got a play for the Rift Herald out of 100 Thieves. We'll see how Soligo does in getting priority in the mid lane here, because he doesn't have the blue buff now. But with the range advantage and the completed Nashor's Tooth, the poke is quite real, and Yasui has to respect that.
Yep. Gonna see Panda going for Rift Herald. I guess also knowing that Silas isn't the super greatest in the jungle anymore, it doesn't really give you that, but he can still steal Sej's ult from mid. Back to mid as we see it. Rift Herald is getting a whole lot of wards. Looks like a light bright up there. As turret plating falls, that's 14 minutes. Ocean Drake is next, another big one that teams would love to grab to keep them healthy and on the Rift. Just above Soligo is a 4-shot ward. He's not going to see that one.
The plates fall. This would be a huge objective for either of these teams. For 100 Thieves, you knock this one out, and you can really just take over the game. You're about to not just crack the bottom tower, but the mid.
Maybe E is next to 3. I'm not sure where he keeps his stopwatch. Any of those numbers, 2 and 3, just kind of above the E there.
He's on the ward.
Spiderling won't make it. Anda changes forms, go for the execute. That's the kill, going over to Anda. 3-0 for the Spider now. And he is feeling great this game as he can get someday some assists as well as that mid lane kills.
And Soligo really ready to assist his bro up in the top lane. And
I guess it's all assists.
that hurts the bottom lane even more. So this is just a very well snowballed game from the 100 Thieves. Even though the gold doesn't show it, it's about to, because the turrets are about to break. Bot lane turret, mid lane turret, and then top as well. I think Anda would likely use this one up here to really try to knock the first ring of outer towers, which should then put so much pressure on Fox to do something with a jungler that is 0-3. Not the greatest for finding a play now.
So let's talk about something that's pretty funny. Obviously, you can get a bunch of kills in a game. At some point, if you don't carry the game, that becomes detrimental. And like you said, Elise doesn't super scale. It's great to have 3 kills. When do you start saying, hey, that's somebody else's kill, as somebody who won't scale with 10 kills in the game?
I don't think you ever say that as Elise right now, because at 3-0, you're really strong at securing major objectives, right? So you're going to be able to take down dragons, take down barons, and that has a lot of power. And before we do this, nothing's going to happen. Just making sure we don't miss out on the action on the screen. But I think Elise can do a lot because the Xin is pretty far behind, and there's no major tanks on the team right now.
Right, you're not facing a 6-0 Yusui.
You're not going to get outscaled by somebody stacking MR again.
Oh, stun! That's not going to be able to get Soul Shackle off too well that time. He did get it for the initial stop and slow. They're over the wall. With the repel goes Anda. They're going to find Yusui as well. He tries to get into the fight. That's going to be a miss of abduct. And now he is out of that one with only an on the hunt. He gets to go a little bit faster in his retreat, as that was a very nice in and out by 100 Thieves, picking the pocket of Echo Fox with 2 kills. And now Someday looks like he could go back and forth with Lorlo. One sweet spot. The second. And the third's just going to miss as he tries to bait Lorlo back into the minion wave.
Oh. Missed the kill on Prismal,
That's
but
the thing.
Hey,
so on the hunt, they would have been able to catch up with that and kind of take him off guard.
That is the return kill, and Fox thought they were setting up a trap, but the Morgana spell vamp was a little bit too much, and I think the best part about that play was actually not only the commitment from Prismal and Anda to go over the wall, but Anda's flash.
I didn't know that. Boom. Anda's flash is down.
I think we might get to take a look at a replay of that.
I do want to see it.
And yeah, you see the power of the Elise, right? 4-0 with the Oblivion Orb, so really powerful. Let's see. So he does a really nice job there with the roots, stuns from Anda. And check this out, because if Yusui were to have connected this, they're going to get wiped. But instead, he's completely forced to retreat and just wait out. But how does Prismal get caught?
Spell shield is a finicky thing.
Yep.
It will not stop you from being grabbed. It'll just stop the CC. Unfortunate.
Now we know. Right, it won't stop the Nocturne ultimate from hitting you.
Yeah,
You'll just won't take the damage.
So you love it when you're the Thresh or somebody who it matters when you hit the hook. If you're playing against it, you're like, that shouldn't have hit me. What is that crap? And so it's, 6-1, half dozen of the other. It just depends on the situation. Coming up on 20 minutes in the game, 5-2, and that is going to be the Ocean Drake we're talking about, and another Infernal after. Could be bigger for Echo Fox, but I think 100 Thieves is going to have pretty big control over everything up to the river coming up here.
Yeah, great by the observers. They're giving us the vision. As you can see, the Thieves are in the darkness.
They are.
Fox is very scared right now.
Skulking around.
Well, that's what a good thief would do, wouldn't it? You wouldn't really want to have a thief in the middle of the day.
True. They'd be a really good thief then. A good sleight of hand. You'd be a magician.
That might be the best kind of thief, actually.
Go.
Hidden in plain sight.
Ooh, Yusui Soul Shackles. So he can get in there with the belt. He just doesn't have the stopwatch agency to make anything really happen. You get a back here from Lorlo. He is 149 to 178 CS, so definitely taking it there. He has not been able to take out
Lorlo.
Someday. True shot barrage through 2. It was a nice little dodge there. Lorlo with the teleport in, goes for stunt on the backside. Soul Shackle's going to keep him locked up for just a second, and no Hextech ultimatum to go in on that fight. So they will stop say this is enough. We'll actually have inner pressure on that mid lane, but they're not going to be able to take it. They're respecting 100 Thieves too much.
Oh, the Morgana Black Shield just hurt Lorlo right there. He thought he'd be able to find some way of engaging, but it's a 5-second duration on that spell, so there's no way he can crack it on his own, and so he just has to let Morgana walk away. That's a big commitment. That's a teleport of your best flanking champion, so Fox now has to wait 5 more minutes to do that again.
A lane swap here. Oh, well, look at that wave coming in from Yasui. He's going to say, here you go, Someday. And Someday is going to clean that entire thing up. Might even put him up towards 200 CS at this point as we hit 20 minutes. Baron's on the Rift. Last objective here that you will really need to take until we see Rift Herald. Nice cleanup there for him, and Someday is looking quite good. 7,900, so he's 50 gold away from 8,000 to Lorlo's 6,500 right now. So he has got most of this lead in his pocket, but it's a 5K gold lead across the board, which means everybody's stepping up a bit here, especially the top side of who would expect it in Anda and Someday.
It's huge when you consider the itemization, though, because Someday now has the strongest power spike of Aatrox, the Cleaver, and the Death Stance. Whereas Camille, really only sitting at the Triforce. The healing reduction is not as powerful as you would want to hope. The jungle mismatch is tremendous. And in the bottom lane, while Lost did finish his Trinity Force, he's yet to hit the Mirror Manners.
They're looking for a commit. Phil just switched Unsealed Spellbook over to Barrier and Heal, so he can keep himself in the fight longer as well. Maybe do some Gray Health trickery and get that effective health a little bit higher. Binding goes by, pie in the face to Phil. There's Yasui, dodges out. And they still continue to tempt Echo Fox into a fight. 100 Thieves know they have the lead. Echo Fox is playing a very smart game of figuring out how to take the fight in their best interest.
And they have to respect the fact that Thieves has complete vision of the Baron side.
They really do.
They really just don't want to mess with that. And with a Dragon that's coming up in about 1 minute and 40 seconds, the Thieves will have to make a choice of, do they continue to pressure the Baron looking for a pick, or do they go for the objective that will maximize their damage and almost certainly seal the deal for this game?
Yikes. That is quite a bit going through. You can see it's Dark Binding. Oh, no, that was Elise. Lol. I was like, wait, what? So it's actually 4-1-4. 4 Dark Binding, 1 Soil, 4 Shield. So he's been leveling up Binding and Shield at the same time. Not something you usually see. Usually Binding real quick at level 9. It'll have 5 for that max duration.
You do want a few extra points of the Shield to make sure that one or 2 spells don't pop that right away, because that's the worst. If an Ezreal or a Tahm Kench Q can just break it, then there's almost no point in leveling it up.
So Stunt now back. He has Zanius. He can be a full threat going into each one of these fights. And the Dark Bindings, along with the Elise Cocoons, have been really tough for Echo Fox to be even moving kind of inches away from each other. Even with 2 people, you kind of are like, oh, sorry, you got bound. I'm going to have to back up now. So a lot is power in numbers for Echo Fox to get safely through their jungle. And here, they're able to deny a few wards, but still a pink ward behind them on the right, up towards Krugs. They can't hit everything right away.
That's how they have to make a comeback. Try to outnumber the opponent. You've got the Tahm Kench ultimate that is now at an extended range, so there might be a way to go for that, but the mobility on the 100 Thieves members is actually quite tremendous when you consider that Sivir's going to be around Morgana the whole time, so you're not going to catch them. Elise has Repel and pretty slippery. And then Nazir and Aatrox, well, they're some of the most mobile solo laners we have right now, so it's a really difficult task for Fox Academy right now, but it's only game 1, so I think this is the time to experiment and see what works against the Thieves.
And I love this one. I kind of just mentioned the Bindings, but you get 2 spell shields. You get a lot of little synergies on this team that make it easy, because Morgana can now focus whoever she needs to with that spell shield. Sivir, self-sufficient. A lot of little things that work along with all of that movement speed you were just mentioning. They are tough to stop. How about 4 Drakes? 4 Drakes as well. Definitely control over this one as Echo Fox continues to keep the vision down. You never give up any game in a series. You may know the next one will go different, but you're still going to fight for everything in the current one you're at. 24 minutes on the clock at that, and we have 5 minutes for our next Ocean Drake. It would be good for Echo Fox to get something like that, at least to stay within these fights and within the walls of their rift more than their base as this map moves on. Soligo pushing a wave in top side, looking for where Someday is. He's just in the mid lane, actually, so they're keeping it close if they do have to fight in the jungle for this one. Echo Fox has a bit of that bushwhack they've been setting up. Wards go down, and look, they're just going to be able to be cleared out. They have to be careful about who and when they engage.
If the Thieves don't find a way to get Baron within the next 4 minutes, it's probably going to be classified as a failure for them. They're too far ahead. They have so much pressure on the map, all the vision control, so they really are just fishing for a Fox member to get out of position, especially Panda. I think if they can just wait for Panda to do an audacious charge in, instantly pop him, and then the Baron gets started. But instead, they're going for the classic, you don't have enough vision to get here quick enough, Baron, but it does get scryed forward.
That's big. One onto Panda. Smite has to get over the wall. They're going to try to get a fight onto Prismo real quick as he gets some ricochets through the team. Didn't bounce to anybody, though, unfortunately for him. And it looks like we will pause on this for now. Janitorial duty needed in the top side for Echo Fox's waves as everybody gets the quick reset. They're testing the waters. It felt good. We'll be back as they dive in next time. But still, Echo Fox really isn't aware of what's going on until they're firing ultimates, which doesn't matter for Ez, he gets quick, but until they can push themselves for that extra bit of vision, it's not where you want to be playing from.
Just look at how much they're committing to really not miss a beat around the red side, around the Baron. You've got the Tom Kent's using the teleport to get back in there, the Ezreal ultimate that was committed, so because they're completely in the dark, they're just trying to make sure that at least a body is there, but I'm not a fan of the move of Thieves to try to sneak it because that just slows things down. I think if you wait a little bit longer to bait out as many cooldowns as possible and then go for some sort of collapse, you could have found a play that guarantees the objective.
Play here under the bot lane. Level 16, Someday's the highest in the game as he throws down the stopwatch. Will he live throughout this one? Doesn't get enough healing down. Yasui comes up with a big kill. Could turn this one around, but the team isn't on his heels just yet. That's the Abyssal Voyage. He actually walks right into it. A stun throws it out. Start could be going down now, but he throws down the Zonias. Panda falls as they strip him down, and it's going to be Phil also on the ground. A double kill for Anda and one hell of a game for the jungler.
And that's the price of taking down Someday. You think that it's just his show, but the rest of the crew is there to back him up. So the Thieves pick up 3 members and now heads to Baron with only Lost as ultimate being the chance for a steal. There is a ward on the outside, but as long as Anda is on point with the smite, it is all theirs.
Lost the true shot barrage of his life. Alteration orb inside. Guessing the number. Good hold. A nice little repel feature as well to not take that full damage. And Lorlo's going to be working on the bot side. Echo Fox knows they still have to keep their mind in the game. We'll check this play one more time.
And Someday does a pretty nice job at fighting and trying to bait out the rest of the team. And even though Anda does connect the shot, Yasui has blood in his eyes, trying to get something going on for Echo Fox, and unfortunately does not pass the correct way. But again, credit to Stunts. It's the second time he found a really good collapse on members of Fox Academy, including Yasui. So really keeping him in check has been a great way to answer what has been Fox's Academy's best performing member all split long.
I was just checking out the experience bars and kind of seeing how like Someday's playing this. He's 0, 2, and 2, 17, and 16 was just hit by Soligo and Yasui. So he's literally gaining 17 experience as those guys just dinged over.
Oh my lord.
That is Panda going down. I don't even think we get a fight right away, but the ricochets go all the way back with the soldiers. So again, another synergy, Ricochet and soldiers on the back line, able to just deliver in the damage when Echo Fox has nowhere to stand, even in their own den. Fox now pushed back to the Nexus turret. It's going to be the inhibitors going down in mid and bot side. As you see those timers tick up on the bottom right of your screen. 4 members of Echo Fox try to stand tall now in front of the Nexus versus 5 of 100 Thieves who are looking to take every last ounce of this one and bring it home for the first win of the series. That's the second Nexus turret going down. Echo Fox can't even do a lot to stop the damage. And 100 Thieves just waltz on through for game 1.
They absolutely crushed it, and Anda didn't even die that game. That was an elite that just completely popped off. I think that this was a game where the jungler really just decided the entire series from the very early on. Even though Panda did get Anda's flash, Anda was at the right place at the right time way more. Soloing the first dragon, securing the second Infernal, even going for the Rift Herald when it was a time. So objective after objective.
Yeah.
And if that wasn't enough, all the lanes are winning, except mid, which is an Azir lane, which is more than happy to split.
What is the old saying? Like, if you kill a spider with a broom or something, you get a bunch of money? I don't know. That's random
Really?
crap.
So
but
like the
it,
tooth fairy, but for spiders?
I guess. I don't know. There's something about like Forks and Company and all that random. But if you did, he got 600 bounty. If you killed the spider, you would have got a lot of money. So whether or not I just made that up, it connected. We're going to get into the replays now and his early game, and he solidified the map control. See, watching what he did was so great, knowing that the junglers were so focused. These replays do show that he was still able to perform, knowing that a few of those junglers were banned out in picks.
And Fox targeted Someday as expected, thinking that Anda was going to be there, and they were definitely correct in knowing that Anda would be there too. But this was a play that turned the rest of the game around. The Morgana being shepherded over by the Sivir ultimate. And notice that the Fox team had no vision. They had no vision at the try, no vision at the entrance of the ramp. So the Morgana and Sivir completely sneaked up there. So really good job in identifying the tunnels where Morgana could show up.
And while it was kind of slow in the beginning, we're like, oh yeah, playoffs. Then they turn it on 100 Thieves, take that fight, and take Baron. Just before we see that big objective, it was the bot lane in the cross-map run to get that objective.
And you can see at the map that the rest of 100 Thieves is way more prepared to be involved in this, as Morgana and Sivir started this from the mid lane, whereas Tahm Kench and Xin Zhao, they were running from the top side. They were at double, so this was Fox, Lorlo, and Yasui looking for a play while the rest of the team was not doing anything else. And that made a big difference because everybody ended up collapsing, but at poor times. So this just shows that 100 Thieves, when they're playing around Someday, they're on the same page, 100%. Whereas Fox Academy, they were not sure what they were going for. They just had two members making a play, and instead of having the rest of the team backing him up, they said, we'll grab Krugs, you guys go for it. But once you get out of laning phase, you need to involve as many members as possible in your plays, whether it's directly or indirectly taking something else on the map.
So much damage. We saw in the end fights there what Saligo and Prismo were able to do on the bot side, kind of cleaning up everybody under the turrets. No safe place to stand there for Echo Fox. Also, I just looked up what I was talking about. It's kind of bullcrap. I didn't find a damn thing, but it all sounded great. I'm sure there's something there. It was one of those old sayings. But looking at what Echo Fox has to do, I think there's a perfect idea of where to focus. The jungle kind of just went to disarray for them. So knowing that that won't happen next game, we get a much closer matchup, and they can work on it.
Well, they have, I believe, as the losers and lower seed, they now have side selection, so they should be maybe picking blue side, and you can prioritize the Jarvan or the Sejuani as a first pick for Panda, because you'd most likely have Karma, Yumi, etc. banned on red. So this should be a much better look for the jungler of Echo Fox, which should give us a more competitive game.
Absolutely. Someday as well, able to hold a lot of ground in that top lane, but it wasn't the Someday carry. I think a big thing to take out of this one was that, but also even without a carry, he was still the highest farm in the game. He was still the highest level in the game. I think highest farm, I'm sorry, but it's still the highest level, and he was controlling a lot of what allowed 100 Thieves to do the rest across the map, because obviously they had a 6-0 at least.
And Fox just ended up thinking, well, is it the Someday show or not? Because it always is the conversation.
How much do we have to focus on the show, or is it door number 2?
Going top, right? They keep going top, and then they don't devote any time in the bottom. And the one time they do, it gets counter-ganked, and it's disaster all over again. So it throws a psychological wrench in your plans when you're thinking, do they play around Someday that much, or is it just a meme? Or how much do I have to care about this lane? So when you go down that spiral hole, you end up just running it down. Yeah.
Don't fake yourself out. You can be too smart. That's right, analysis paralysis. Game 1 goes to 100 Thieves. Let's see if Echo Fox can even up the series after the break. You're watching the NA Academy League. Soul shackled down. It's going to be the flash to a stopwatch. Panda not in a good spot. Spiderling won't make it. Anda changes forms, go for the execute. That's the kill. Going over to Anda.
Nice over here. Or fighting bottom. Yeah. Moving here.
Did.
Yo, we can go.
I'm alive.
Watching Silas. Silas here. Watch Silas. Watch Silas.
Yep.
That's the Abyssal Voyage. He actually walks right into it. His stun throws it out. Sturt could be going down now, but he throws down the Sonias. Panda falls as they strip him down.